Hey everybody, it's Lynn at A Bit of Birdsong. I'm out in Paper Town and I'm spreading out a piece of paper. I just bought this roll over the weekend. This is going to be really good for journal pages, but also just to cut a piece and protect things that I don't want to get messed up. Jason and I went on a walk by the Haw River a few days ago, and there were some really pretty plants, just wildflowers, like nothing rare or anything, but we did find a lot of pokeberry. So I picked a few of the berries, and you have to be careful with pokeberries. You know, there is a way to handle them, and some people ingest the berries in a very careful fashion. I know there are recipes for jelly. The Native Americans used pokeberry. I know my grandfather, for one, knew how to cook the greens and eat them. I have never eaten them. I have helped work with some plants when I was studying herbal medicine a few years back, and it can soak through your skin. Most people, I think, don't have a problem touching pokeberry, but some people do. And the ink or the pigment in the berries, it can get in through your skin. But I brought home some, just a few, only three clusters of berries, and just laid them on these pages and then put them to the side. So you can see, look, there's still some juice in the berries. And they've pretty much dried though, and I love the color. I want to leave the color on here, but I do want to get the berries off. Ooh, maybe I should plant one of these. I think these are seeds. I used to have a big one of these in my old garden, my beautiful wild little garden, and the mockingbirds especially loved that plant. It got really big, and it was big enough to kind of hang over an arbor. I know not everybody would want that growing, but I had a lot of purchased domesticated plants mixed in with a lot of native plants that I had purchased from nurseries and that had just sort of volunteered. And I had weeds, what people would consider weeds as well. I love plantain. I had a lot of plantain growing through some of the stepping stones. Just so many beautiful things. I had some wild roses, but I wanted to share these beautiful pages. Just bear with me. I know you can see the color here. I'm probably going to put these seeds in something. Let's bring a few little bottles over and see what we can do. Oh, I think now that is part of a seed, I think. I mean a berry. I'm going to get that out of there. And let's do this. Ooh, that looks kind of creepy, but why is that piece of paper in there? It can't be in there. Sorry, paper. Let it go. All of that. Isn't this cool? That's part of a berry. That's part of a berry. So I will just pick out the seeds. Look at this. This is one of the things I really wanted you to see. I put some of the leftover berries into some water to make dye, and it is absolutely the most beautiful color. I thought I would go back over these sheets of really nice paper that have the staining, and I'm going to add another layer of color. It has a little bit of a strong smell. The poke plant, when it's fresh in the wild, it does have a strong smell if you press the berries or whatever, which again, it's something that can soak through your skin, so you just need to be careful. I'm gonna let all of these dry. I think these pages would be beautiful to make a book, like an herbal, and you know, what am I trying to say? I know green witches make books like that. It's not a book of shadows. I guess just like an herbal encyclopedia with your own information. You can hear it is getting late in the day. All of the nighttime creatures are coming out. But I did want to show you the paper that is hanging outside overnight. It'll be dry sometime tomorrow. And I'm really excited about this. I'll definitely show you what it looks like soon. This is the Craspire wax that I received for trying out and doing a couple of reviews. So this wax is very strong. It's different than like just using candle wax. And these little pokeberry seeds, I've had them sitting in the jar open for a few days to try to let any moisture escape. And I thought to make some charms, it would be really pretty to put the tiniest bit of wax around the top and then put the cork in to kind of hold it into place like glue, and you can see the wax running down inside. But then to also come back and really seal it good with a bit more wax around the outside. And the spoon is awesome with the little spout. It makes it so easy to pour. And there we go. I think it looks pretty poison. It's really actually very cool. And I'm gonna make a little label that says toxic to put on these before I, tie them with some cord or whatever. Definitely gonna put one on my Halloween journal. And I will probably label it what it is, just so it's not a complete mystery. Maybe we will throw a white one in here to get a mix of color. This larger jar, I think I'm gonna leave it sitting open for a bit longer. There's the lid to that, and I will probably just hang on to that. I'm not sure I'm gonna plant any poke plant or pokeberry plant. I think it can be a bit invasive, and I love the plant, but I don't know that I want to have it taking over here with the number of kids in the neighborhood and animals, cats. It's not growing naturally in this yard, and I'm not sure I want to introduce it. So, but I am going to keep the seeds. We'll just put them on my shelf of unusual bottles and things. There, that's kind of cool. The dark probably looks a little more dangerous. That's okay. We can see it in there. And I'm going to let these dry thoroughly before I mess with those anymore. Let's get back to this beautiful paper that was on the clothesline. And you can see the pink really soaked in, and it definitely toned down. It was a much brighter pink when it first came out of the container, and I've poured it all out at this point. It's not something I want to have on the desk all the time. I did hang these outside to dry because I didn't want to just be exposed to too much of the scent. The plant has got, I believe it's called saponins in it, and it's just, the entire plant is toxic. Some people do try to eat the leaves when they're young. As I mentioned, as the plant gets older, the toxins become more and more strong. But aren't these beautiful? I just think they're so pretty. And the way I did this was so I brought home 3 clusters, and I would just lay a cluster on the page and kind of fold the paper over and press enough to get some of the juice from the berries to come out. And I just moved through the whole stack. That one looks like a butterfly. You can hear the chickens outside. I definitely will be using this paper in a journal that I plan to make. There's another seed. I'll try to put that one in the jar there. So someone asked about this paper, and I'm doing all of this video together because you can see how a lot of the pink got spilled here, and it's really beautiful on this paper. It looks more concentrated, and it could also be because this paper is more white. This is an ivory 32-pound resume paper by Neenah, and Neenah makes really good paper. But let me show you this roll. I've been asked what kind of paper this is, and I don't really know. I wish I did. I tried to search a little bit. You can see there's a dent here. It does have sort of a fibrous look. Feels a little bit like butcher block paper, but I don't see any waxy surface whatsoever. I did notice that these rolls inside are a bit different than what I've seen before. They're not plastic. They're sort of a compressed, you know, fake wood, if you will. So they're much heavier. They're solid. I don't know if you can see, they're like an inch thick. So I feel like this, I don't know, I feel like maybe that makes it vintage, or maybe it makes it for a use that I'm not familiar with. I thought this might help anyone who's asking about it though. And maybe if there's anybody out there who knows more about these paper rolls, you could tell us what this is. Anyway, it's a very nice paper. I am happy to have it because this will make nice journal paper. Yeah, there's that beautiful stain. That's where I put a glass of grape juice the other night, and it melted right into the paper. All that condensation or you know, sweating on the outside of the glass. I need a tiny little skull and crossbones to go on there. I do like that though. Let's get some glue. There's that bubble again.